It's really a good one, of the best. The chemist was working in his lab on a product to clean railroad cars and pistons, a solvent. And one day he burnt the soft spot of his arm very severely on a hot plate. And the only thing that he had quickly was a vat of the solvent that was cold. So he ran over there and splashed some of that on his arm. And lo and behold, yes, it took him out of pain immediately. And then 2 days later, he noticed that he had no sign of that burn. And he got to thinking, good grief, what have I got in that vat?
So then he went back and retraced his steps, probably.
Worked about 3 more years, he did, on developing what we have now in society today as a catalyst that alters the structure of water.
Okay, now catalyst is something that causes things to happen.
Yes, it does. When a catalyst is something that when you put it in something else, it doesn't change itself, but it changes
the substances
what it goes into.
Now
Yes.
this is the catalyst itself that I'm holding right here.
Mhm.
And this is put in water. Now what are some of the things that burns you mentioned? There are other things that it does as well. Arthritis?
Well, it has an effect in that, yes, it has a feeling of well-being to the body. When you take the catalyst and put it in a gallon of distilled water, and we prefer that you always use distilled water because it has no minerals in it and the catalyst can just go bananas in it. Water water is measured in droplets. And when you take the catalyst and you put it in that water, it breaks the water droplets down, Craig, so very, very tiny that it becomes the greatest penetrant that's ever been discovered in the history of man.
Now you mentioned to me it goes into the skin in about, what, 3 seconds?
Yes, our testing in Denver has tested out the penetrating ability is 3 seconds.
Now what are some of the uses then that catalyst-activated water could be used for?
Well, it's a chelating agent. When you drink it and you take it, say, with your vitamins, it has a remarkable effect in the body. In our background of health foods, and that was our line for many years in Sacramento, we've known for years in that industry that you only assimilate maybe 18 to 25% of the vitamins that you took this morning. That's not too good.
Yeah.
On food, it's about the same, maybe about 25%. When you take the catalyst-activated water and have it in your system every day, your assimilation rises to 80 to 85%.
When you talk about chelating, for example, minerals have to be chelated with vitamins for them to work effectively. Is this, you're talking about then it tends to cohese these?
It does. You know, the word chelate in Greek means to be glue-like. The product has the ability to be a chelating agent in the body and pick up the toxins and carry them out of the body. But then what happens when the catalyst goes in there and picks up the nutrients as a penetrant? When you drink the water enters the body and then goes through the system and picks up those nutrients, carries them right through the tissue to the very cell itself. And the body now has the ability to heal itself about 3 times greater than it ever could before.
Why haven't we really heard about this before?
You're hearing it now.
Yeah, we are. Why didn't, 20 years, that's a long time.
You know, how long did it take television to get here? 50 years?
Yeah, something like that.
It took a freeze-dried coffee,
You're
I think, 17 years.
Starting small and finally the word gets around.
Well, you can be the greatest chemist in the world, but you may not be the greatest businessman.
Good point, good point.
BioLine took that product and have taken it nationwide in 1 year, and we have really exploded.
Now, this is a 3-ounce bottle, is it?
4.
4-ounce
That'll
bottle.
make a total of 4 gallons.
So it's an ounce per gallon?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Very inexpensive to use. So you figure it'll run you about $7.50 a month to make 2 gallons, and you'll spend more than that in an evening out for dinner.
Oh, absolutely.
We feel that Craig, that the water will be a household word in 5 years. There's no question with what it does.
It's that beneficial.
It's that beneficial. The very first thing we did when we heard about it, Hal and I heard the 60 Minutes. But being horse breeders and Arabian breeders, we went out the next day and cleaned stalls and built fences, and we forgot about it because we had retired from the health food industry. And about 6 months later, we were called to see the 60-minute program again. And we sat there for an hour and a half and took notes on this, and we got so excited that 2 days later we bought a massive amount of it, jumped on the plane, went to California, and shared it with our doctor friends, our biochemists, and some of our past customers. And in 2 days, the thing went bonkers. And we've been on the road for 13 months since. We are totally out of retirement now, and our children came home to the nest and are now taking care of the horses and the farm.
How handy.
Yes, thank heavens.
Bring the kids back.
Generally, you want them out of the nest. We're grateful they came back in the nest.
Now, okay, if I were to take a bottle like this, what would you suggest then that I do with it after I mix it with distilled water? Would just drink it every day?
I drink it every day. We even catalyze our apple juice with it. And an interesting thing, the product is a magnificent preservative. To give you for instance, we drink the fresh apple juice, and it'll go fizzy in about 3 weeks.
Right, yeah, real quick.
We left a gallon of that apple juice catalyzed in our car accidentally in California for a month. And it's a little warmer there than it is here. And we took it out, and it was still sweet. So we took it home, stuck it in our fridge, and in 2 months, that apple juice was still sweet. It had not gone fizzy yet. So the product is a natural preservative.
Preservative, I was just going to say.
It's a flavor enhancer. It makes things taste far better than it ever tasted before. It's a chelating agent. It assimilates food far better than you could ever assimilate before.
Now, is that a glass at meals or just once a day?
Well,
really?
I just drink it whenever I think about it. You can take 4 ounces in the morning, 4 ounces at night. It doesn't make any difference, really, when you take it.
That's amazing. Now, you have a topical solution here. Well, it's like a gel. I'll open this up and show you. As you
Research
can see,
worked
dippity-doo.
since about last May on that product, and it was a tough one to put together.
I'll bet.
And what we did was we took the catalyst-activated water, and we've held it in suspension in gel form so that we can get more of the concentrated catalyst in one area. And the things that are happening with that are just absolutely shocking.
Now, obviously, with a burn, this would be good. You just mentioned with uppy and arthritis that it's good.
You put it on in a little tiny bit. It's one of those little dabble do you. So it's a very inexpensive product to use. The burn product is the superstar, however, is the water. Now, this is it in diluted form.
This is the actual water with the catalyst?
And you see it's just a very fine mist. You don't use much of it. But I'd like to share with you regarding the burn victims. That was kind of an exciting story. We had brought to us a young burn victim in Portland, Oregon that had been burned over 60% of his body. And we were asked to go talk to the parents regarding the water. So we showed them the 60-minute video. And before we went to talk to the parents, we knew that the National Burn Victim Foundation has used the catalyst-activated water in research. So I called Harry Gaynor, the president of the foundation. And his comment to me was this. He said, Ellen, we lose 72% of our burn victims from infection.
Sure.
He said the itch is so bad it drives them crazy, and that is
by doing that to infect the thing.
Right. He said keloids are a thing we really fight, which is scars grow, the big globules. He said when we use the catalyst-activated water, he said, in my opinion, it's the greatest thing in medical history for burn victims because, number one, there were no keloids that formed on the patient. Number two, they were out of pain in 12 hours, totally. And less than 48 hours, that itch had totally stopped and the body had already started healing.
Started coming back, as it were.
Totally. So we shared what we knew about the product with Michael, the burn victim that the Emmanuel Hospital in Portland had given up on. They said there was nothing they could do to help him. And he had keloids all over his face. He was going through a real psychological problem. 15 years old, 60% of his body burned. He was already starting to curl up in the fetal position. So we donated the water to the family. They were a very destitute family. And the mother called us in 2 days, and she said, Ellen, you're absolutely right. He's out of pain. The itch has totally stopped, and the body has already started healing. So Harry Gaynor was right. What the National Burn Victim Foundation had found out was true.
Is this being used widely, Ellen, or not as widely as it could be, I guess?
It is being used all over the United States now. We have research going on in several major universities in the United States. Private research firms are doing work for us now. We have medical doctors aboard the company, dentists using it in their practices for pain relieving. We have chiropractors using it for relaxing the body so they can work on the patient. It's a calming effect, works on the central nervous system and has an extreme calming effect. It works for just about anything.
And the amazing thing is there's really nothing in it that's toxic at all, is there?
Oh, no. It's been proven by research that it's non-toxic, non-corrosive, non-carcinogenic. It won't create a monster, non-mutagenic. You could drink the whole bottle. It tastes awful because it's a concentrate. But when you take just 1 ounce of that and you put it in the water...
In a gallon.
It actually makes water taste better. We have to hide it from our grandkids because it's one of those things that they crave the water. They want to drink it all the time, and it isn't necessary. You drink your normal water with it.
Okay, we're going to take a break here and come back and answer some calls for you. Ellen Wilfley, we're talking about catalyst-activated water, okay? Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, we're talking about catalyst-altered water. If you've just joined us with Ellen Wilfley, a spokesperson for that particular substance, if you'd like to call us, 539-0190 is the number. This is a government report that I'm holding here, Catalyst-Altered Water, a briefing by the Subcommittee on Health and Long-Term Care of the Select Committee on Aging, U.S. House of Representatives, which happens to be Orrin Hatchett's committee, by the way. Here are just a few of the things they list for using this particular product. Your laundry. You can add it to your washing machine to cut down on detergent. For yellowed synthetics, try washing plain or half and half mixture with tap water, and it's compatible with bleaches.
Isn't that amazing that a product could kill pain and yet do that?
Yeah, that is amazing.
But it does, because it makes water wetter, and it is a
Water
penetrant.
wetter,
Yes.
because it breaks down the
Water
molecules.
droplets so tiny that you cut back to about 1/3 of the amount of soap that you would use in your washing machine.
Some interesting things here. Pets and hot water during periods of stress, 1 tablespoon per quart of drinking water for pets, and a half a cup to the bath for itching.
We had an exciting testimony, Craig, out of Salt Lake City, right here. Provo, actually, it was. Last March, one of the people came to us and she said, you know, the most amazing thing happened to my dog. I had a cute little dog, and for some reason or other, the dog lost all of his hair. And she said there wasn't a vet in the valley that could do anything for that dog. And she said, I got home that night and I mixed up my water and I looked at that sick little dog. And she said, you know, if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for my dog. So she took some of the water and put it in his dish. She came and told us 4 days later, she said, my little dog is one ball of white fuzz.
It just...
Yeah, and Hal said, how much water did you spray on the dog? And she said, oh, are you supposed to spray it? That was only internal.
The dog just drank it.
Mm-hmm.
See, maybe you can wash your hair in it and make your scalp better or something. Have you ever tried that?
Yes, we have. We have some hair restoration testimony, but it doesn't happen. You know, we say
sure, I understand.
it won't raise
about,
Lazarus.
like maybe scalp problems or something.
It has
might
done
help
some
there.
very exciting things along that
I
line.
think so. Horses, which you know a lot about, stress in the supply of drinking water with livestock apparently relieves stress caused by chill factor in the winter months. Now, my father was a cattle rancher, and stress is a very big factor for cattle during the winter months, especially if they're calving.
Well, since you have a little background in horses, the one thing that got Hal and I excited in the very beginning, Craig, was the fact that you know what colic is in horses.
Yes.
Well, we had just suffered with colic with one of our best mares about 3 weeks prior, and I had walked that mare for 5 solid hours and gave her hot bran and molasses. So I knew what that horrible thing was with colic. And for those in the audience that aren't aware of it, colic is something that makes a horse upset that we don't know he's upset about.
It's like
and
a baby's
they
colic.
lay down and they roll to get rid of the tummy ache and the gut kinks, and they're dead in a half hour. That product has such an effect on the central nervous system, such a calming effect, that we feel it's going to be revolutionary for colic in Arabian horses and thoroughbreds or anyone
breed.
else.
Interesting. We're going to take some calls right now. I should mention at this point, Frank Layden, of course, was scheduled today, but he got caught in practice. I don't know, Adrian Dantley tripped him or something. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello? Well, maybe they're there, maybe they're not. Let's try this one. Good afternoon. Well, seem to have a little problem with the phone. We'll try to fix that. I noticed tennis elbow, tired, aching muscles. Now, that's be good. I work out quite a lot, and I get a lot of aches and pains.
Well, that's an easy one. You can spray the water on the
Just
body.
topically?
Yeah, or you can take out of your gallon that you've mixed, you take a half a cup of that, put it in the bath water. Get very, very hot bath water, because that will activate the micelle all the more. Let it cool down a little bit, and then soak about 20 minutes, and you'll not feel any aches or pains.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Tennis elbow.
Can you imagine what that could be for the National Football League or any other team? Baseball, it doesn't make any
high
difference.
school football team. I mean, they come in, you're pretty sore.
For the knee joints and what have you.
Diaper rash, and of course burns we've already mentioned, arthritis, minor injury like healing of cuts, scrapes. For example, if I get a cut on my hand, it heals it up more quickly.
Yes, the body has the ability now to heal about 3 times greater than it ever did before.
Do we know what makes it do that exactly?
Yes, we do. We do now.
But we didn't before.
No, we didn't. And we've had a lot of research going on in the past year that has really opened up a big field for us. And so these are the things that are telling us, why does it work? Before it was a question mark. They didn't know how, but now we know how it works.
It's amazing. And they have some pictures. You won't be able to see them here of the burn victims, 2nd and 3rd degree burns that were treated with catalyst altered water. The top photos were taken 4 days from the accident, the middle page 3 days, and then in 14 days, which is amazing, it's almost totally healed up.
That was an exciting one. That was Chauncey Taylor, I believe was his name, and
Right.
60 Minutes showed that young man. He was welding on an oil drum, Craig, and the oil drum exploded and fused his polyester pants right into the very soft spot of his leg. I mean, fused that right into it. And of course, they were, he said, about 70 miles from a doctor. And everyone in that area has the catalyst-activated water and spray bottles. So his wife ran in and got the spray bottle and sprayed that area, and he said immediately he was totally out of pain. Then she went in.
That's amazing to me.
Oh, it works, believe me. Then she went in and drew him a hot bath and then put the cup of catalyst-altered water in the bathtub, and he soaked and was able to pull that polyester pants right out of his flesh. Then they continued to spray the leg until he got to Doc Lemley's, who has been drinking the water for his emphysema for many years. So they took a look at the leg, and he said, well, you have two choices. You can either continue using the water, and you know how it works, or we can put you in the hospital and work you with the medicines, and that could cause infection and schedule for plastic surgery eventually.
So he stayed with the water, obviously.
They stayed with the water, and in 3 weeks, that young man was back in the saddle with a pair of Levi's on that leg, cutting cattle 8 hours a day. Now, that just gives me shivers to think about that. And
yeah, it makes my legs hurt a little bit to think about that.
3 months, there was absolutely no sign on that man's body that he had second and third degree burns, and the hair follicles grew back.
That's amazing.
Yes, it is, but 60 Minutes showed it. They literally showed that right on the air. And we've seen that.
I'll warn you right now. Why don't you get a pencil and paper if you want to take down some information, because I'll give you where you can send for it or who you can call. There is a meeting at the Ramadi Inn, is that correct, at 999 South Main
I'll be speaking there tonight.
Tonight at 7 o'clock. Is that correct? And, of course, she'll be talking about all the things we're talking about right now. If you'd like the number, it's BioLine Incorporated, Post Office Box 582, Sandy, Utah, 84090, or 91, excuse me. And the number is 268-8045. If you didn't get those, call us after the show, and we'll leave it with the receptionist. She can tell you. This is available then here, but only through the distributors, is that correct?
Yes, it is. We've taken it nationwide in the last year, and it's very exciting what's going on with that product, whether it be animals. The turkeys, you know, they've stopped the cannibalism in turkeys and mink in Oregon State University.
They've stopped cannibalism in mink? I used to work on a mink farm.
No, minks are very vicious.
Very much so.
Well, they put that in their drinking water now, and it just totally calms them. You can reach right into the cages. Now it stops the water belly type thing in the mink. Our Rhode Island red hens started laying eggs at 5.5 months, and they don't lay till they're 8 months, and it was 16 degrees above, and we were getting 12 eggs out of 12 chickens. That's not a bad track record.
Do you find that you, since you drink it, relieves stress for you?
Oh, there's no question about it. We're up until 1 or 2 o'clock every morning. We're holding meetings 2 and 3 times a day. We're on television and radio all over the United States now. Craig, we couldn't have stood this kind of stress for the last 13 months.
Sounds like I need that. I've been up since 4 this morning, and that sounds like a real good deal. Maybe we'll mix up a little, and I'll have some this afternoon. Is the phone working? Hello? Wrong-o, huh? Either that or we've got a silent voice person out there. Let me give you these again. That's BioLine Incorporated, Post Office Box 582, Sandy, Utah, 84091, and the number is 268-8045. And again, Ellen and her husband, I assume your husband will be with you tonight, is speaking at the Ramadi Inn at 999 South Main here in Salt Lake City at 7 o'clock. That's this evening down there. Is there any charge to get in?
Oh, no.
That's free.
Craig, there's an area that we haven't even talked about, and I don't know how much time we have. Got about a minute. Keep in mind that this product affects every living organism, including plant life, and we have some agricultural testimonies that are mind-blowing. The catalyst is a penetrant. It picks up nutrients and carries them through the tissues to the cell, and that's what makes the corn grow better and more bushels per acre for wheat, and so it does the same thing in agricultural.
Well, you convinced me. I'm going to go spray the cat first.
Try it on your houseplants.
And then the Boston fern.
Yes.
You know how Boston ferns are. That's terrific. Catalyst-activated water. I had not heard of it before today. Now I'm going to check it out. Thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Breeze with an interception, 44 yards. This set up Chris Barr's first field goal to make it 3-0 Raiders. Now, early second quarter, the Seahawk defense was hot. On 4th and 1, Frank Hawkins was stopped by Joe Nash. So the Seahawks took over, but they, in turn, could not move the ball once again. So the Raiders came back. Frank Hawkins sneaked in 10-0. The Raiders on top. Then here was the play that maybe broke the back of the Seahawks for the day. Jim Plunkett, the 44-yard bomb to Malcolm Barnwell. And this put the Raiders in excellent shape to get yet another touchdown. And again, Frank Hawkins, 6 yards away. He sneaks inside the outside cornerback. That made it 17-0 Raiders at the time. Chris Barr hit another field goal. Where we stand at halftime, 20.
Wickeder fumble. Of course, the Raiders did not turn the ball over last week in that big victory over Pittsburgh either.
Well, the only times the Raiders have lost this year, their 4 defeats, as we documented earlier, they have self-destructed, but they certainly have not in the playoffs. Norm Johnson, high kick. Lee Montgomery. 35-yard line. Well, the Raiders have been very special in every element of the game. Passing, running, defense, even on the special teams. Recapping the scoring, Barr started it with a short 20-yard field goal after a Hayes interception. Then it was Hawkins plunging from 1 yard to make it 10-0 in the second quarter. Hawkins again from 5 yards, 17-0, and Barr completed the Raider first half with a 45-yard field goal.
Dick defensive statistics for the Seahawks. They've gotten good performance out of Nash on the nose with 6 tackles and Butler with 5, but they've had to do too much tackling today. It's been a dominant Raider offense.
Plunkett play action, and Christensen to the 41-yard line. And it took 3 Seahawks to stop him. Christensen with about 7 yards on the play.
Extremely important to come out and try and get things going your way at the beginning of this second half. You get a chance to feel the Raider philosophy here. Come out, drop the quick pass, a high percentage pass, put it into sure hands. Easily the man, no, it's not easily, it's Butler, 53, the man working on Todd Christensen. Gaines throwing himself in over the top. And there's Kenny Easley there on the ground, stretching his leg. Must have some cramps or something. But watch Easley here. He's the man who came in, put the clincher on Todd Christensen. Maybe stretch one of those muscles in the back of his leg.
So while they attend to the former All-American at UCLA, Pro Bowler Kenny Easley, we pause for these words. 1971, the NFC Championship. It was Bob Greasy to the Hall of Famer Paul Warfield. 75 yards. Miami was on its way to the Super Bowl. Todd Christensen and Kenny Easley in that collision both helped off the field. Christensen with a knee and Easley perhaps more serious.
It's right here as he finishes off the tackle on Christensen, and it looked like his foot was locked to the ground.
Fumble. And the Seahawks might finally have that elusive turnover. That's it. That's the play that has helped them through the course of the season and the playoffs. Prior to today, in the last 3 games, they were 11-1 on the turnover table, and Bryant comes up with a loose ball after a vicious hit.
What you had to have coming out of the locker room